Okay, so I have just desoldered the thermistor, I think that's what this thing is called, from my Aqua-rite Gold Line chlorine generator. And the purpose for this post is just to discuss how difficult it was to desolder the thermistor from the motherboard of the Aqua-rite. Most of the time it seems like solder just melts pretty easily with the solder iron. I first tried the solder iron that I've had. I'm almost 50 years old and I've had this solder iron since I was probably 14. It's it says 40 watt Tandy, so from Radio Shack originally. Tried that and I left it trying to desolder the thermistor and sat there for minutes and minutes and it wouldn't melt the solder. So then I went to Radio Shack and I bought this one. It turns out it's only 45 watts, but it's at a desoldering iron, so it's got the built-in suction pump. This thing I guess is kind of nice, but still didn't get hot enough was my suspicion. So this morning I went and I bought the high-powered dual heat solder gun, and sure enough, using this thing on the actually, I tried the lowest setting and then the highest setting. It fairly quickly melted the solder, and then as some other folks had suggested, I had to add a little bit more solder to one of the posts and then remelted it and got it off, came off pretty nice and clean. So what I would recommend, and I'm not sure if the reason why this was so hard to desolder was because I'm not sure if these are called ground plates. These are like big aluminum plates on both sides of the motherboard, and I think that those were acting as heat sinks, and my two other solder irons wouldn't get hot enough at the joint because those plates could dissipate the heat. So that's why I think I needed the bigger solder gun. So that's the one thing I would recommend for folks doing this in the future is don't mess around. Just make sure you've got a solder gun that gets hot enough. That one was $40. This one was $14.99, and then that one I had ever since I was a kid. So but relative to the $400 it cost me to replace the motherboard, so this is the second time this has happened to me. So that's why this time I decided to go ahead and check online, and a lot of folks have had this same issue with the no power light on the Aqua-rite saltwater generator or chlorine generator. And well, I'm waiting for my thermistors to come in the mail, so we'll see if this worked. I'll update the post later. Thank you.